Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Bree Book Reviews video. Today I will be recording a book haul. This may or may not be split into two separate parts because I have novels that I've collected over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and then I also have a stack of manga here to show you as well, and since they are pretty significant piles separated, I figured it might be better to just do them two separately, but we'll see how long it takes me to show you all of these, because once I show you these, and if I feel like there's still enough time in the video, I may just go ahead and talk about the manga next. So, without further ado, let's get on. So first I have two mass paperback books to show you. The first one being The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. This is the first book in the Shannara Chronicles, I think is what this is called. Essentially the reason I got this is because I watched the entire first season of the MTV's television adaptation of this series, and it wasn't the best I've ever watched. But I binge watched shows, so I had run out of a TV show to watch, and it was kind of like there, and I was interested in checking it out. While it wasn't the best CG and acting, I still really enjoyed the actual story of it, so I decided I'm positive I would like the actual book series of it way better, the acting in it. That might be a separate rant video, I don't know yet. But anyways, I went ahead and got this. By the way, I want to apologize about the lighting. It is really cloudy here, and it may or may not be raining any second now. Also, we're in my bedroom, where all I have is natural light. So, this is about a character named Shay. Shay is half elf, and finds out later that there is an evil dark druid out to destroy the world, and the only thing that can stop them is the Sword of Shannara, and only the heir to the bloodline of Shannara or something like that can use the sword. So Shay goes on an adventure to go locate it, I think is essentially the beginning. Now the TV series does not start off in this part of the story, which is what really confused me when I went to go get the book from the bookstore, because they have like newer editions of the books that have like a TV tie-in cover to them, but it is not the beginning of the story, and I actually had to ask my dad about it, and he said that this is the actual first book, and it takes place like in the past of where the TV show takes place. The TV show takes place like later than this. Also, it might slightly be post-apocalyptic, only because from what I watched in the TV show, it's set in this fantasy world, but it's almost like our world with like old technology and old buildings that they don't know, they're just ruins to them, but it looks like real world technology, but underground. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if that's going to have any tie-in to the actual rest of the story. We'll see. I then picked up The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. I don't know when I will get to picking this up. I'm not even sure that I will be continuing to collect the mass paperback for this, because I really want like nicer covers. So I might collect some other ones, but I was very eager to pick this series up and at least start it, because I heard that they're going to be making a television series out of this, and that kind of excites me, so I want to check it out. My sources are, I don't have like that many like reliable sources about this, but I have seen it kind of floating around online, and a couple other YouTubers that I watch that review television shows and stuff like that have been saying this as well. So, this next book I got only because Reagan from Peruse Project cannot stop talking about this series, and I was like, okay, well, if she is like in love with this book series, I need to be reading this right now. And I almost picked it up immediately, but I decided I was reading too many other series to start this at the moment. So I think if you all watch her, you should probably know what book I'm going to show you, and that is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. This is the first book in this series. I don't even know, the Lightbringer series. All I know is that people can manipulate light and use different colors in the spectrum. People can usually only use like one light, one color, and the main character can use all of the colors, so I think he's like nicknamed the Prism, and apparently using this magic lowers your lifespan, and that's really all I know. And the last 4 books are all hardback, the first one being Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and this is the first book in a YA fantasy series. I honestly have no idea what this book is about. I've just read some decent reviews on it recently and decided I wanted to check it out. The only thing I know is that it's about witches, and apparently it's got some really good like female friendship in this book, so we will see. I was not the biggest fan of Susan Dennard's other series. I can't remember. It was set in like Victorian London with zombies is what I think, if I'm thinking of the right book, but that one was okay, but it wasn't the writing I didn't enjoy, it was the actual story. I'm not the biggest zombie book reader, so that kind of like turned me away from it. This storyline seems a lot more of something of my interest, so I'm sure I think I'll like this one. I also picked up the ever-anticipated The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. This is the 3rd and final book in the Remnant trilogy, and I'm so excited. This thing is humongous in comparison to the other books. I'm actually in the middle of reading Heart of Betrayal. Hold on a second. I have the cover off of it, but I'm in the middle of reading Heart of Betrayal because I've only read the first book initially, and then I did not continue the series, and so about 2 weeks ago I reread the first book, and now I'm into the second book, but just look at the difference. It's like humongous in comparison. I'm really enjoying this second book, so I cannot wait to get to this. This next one I picked up literally half an hour ago. I was just sitting at home thinking to myself, I need some new books. It's Labor Day weekend, and I have a 40% off coupon for Barnes & Noble. So I decided to go, and I saw this book, and I was like, you need that in your collection, Bridget. You should get it. And that book is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. The reason I had been hesitating to get this is because I haven't finished the Grisha trilogy, and not that you really need to read the Grisha trilogy to read this, but I wanted it anyways. I mean, I at least want this on my shelf if I'm not going to start it. But there was a description from somebody online for this book, and they essentially pitched it as being like the first book in the Mistborn trilogy with a really awesome heist, and I didn't know anything about this book until I heard that review or synopsis, and that's what made me really, really want to just go ahead and buy it. I may actually read this very soon, since there's only 2 books, and yeah, I'm excited. I am super excited. And last but not least, I picked up Nevernight by Jake Kristoff. This is the first book in his newest series, and oh my god, can we just look at the cover? His covers are always so beautiful. His first trilogy was really amazing, beautiful covers as well, and really essentially the cover is what drew me to buying it, and I didn't know that I received it as a first edition signed copy, so that's pretty exciting. Something about a trained assassin taking revenge on somebody, and that's really all I know about this book, so I'm kind of excited to go into it a little bit blind, so we will see how I like it. But again, beautiful cover. This is going to be like one of my showpieces on my bookshelf because it's just so gorgeous. The only downfall to this cover is the fact that this is not a sticker. This will not come off. Why do they do that? So these are all the books that I received in the last month or so. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll be going over my manga/graphic novels. Bye!